Have you ever wondered why some people seem to age gracefully, staying active and full of life well into their 90s or even beyond 100? While many of us think that longevity is just about good genes, the truth is our daily habits play a much bigger role than we realize. And there's one place in the world that holds a powerful secret to living a long and healthy life: Japan. In Japan, particularly in Okinawa, people have been living past 100 at a higher rate than almost anywhere else in the world. But it's not just about reaching old age. It's about how they live. They stay independent, mentally sharp, and physically active. They don't just exist, they thrive. So what's their secret? It's not one magical trick, but rather a way of life. Simple habits that have been passed down for generations. And the best part? These are things anyone can do, no matter where you live. Let's start with one of the most fascinating habits that sets the Japanese apart. It's something called Ikigai, a word that doesn't have a perfect translation in English, but it means reason for being or reason to wake up in the morning. It's about having a sense of purpose, something that brings joy, meaning, and fulfillment to your life. Think about this. Have you ever noticed that people who retire and don't have something to look forward to every day often decline faster? That's because the human body and mind are designed to be engaged. In Japan, especially in places like Okinawa, elders don't just stop working and sit around. They have small gardens, help in their communities, mentor younger generations, or pursue lifelong passions. They wake up every morning with a sense of purpose, and that sense of purpose keeps them going. Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm retired. I don't have a job anymore, so how does this apply to me? But purpose doesn't have to come from work. It can be anything that gives your day meaning. Maybe it's volunteering, learning something new, spending time with grandkids, or even taking care of a pet. The key is to have something that excites you, something that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. And the research backs this up. People with a strong sense of purpose live longer, have lower rates of heart disease, and even reduce their risk of Alzheimer's. But having purpose alone isn't enough. There's another important habit the Japanese follow, and it's something most of us have probably been told before, but often ignore: eating in moderation. One of the simplest yet most powerful lessons we can learn from Japan is the idea of eating just enough. Not too much, not too little, but just the right amount to nourish the body without overloading it. In Okinawa, they follow a practice called Hara Hachi Bu, which means eat until you're 80% full. This habit alone has been linked to lower rates of heart disease, diabetes, and obesity, all of which are major contributors to early aging and health decline. Think about how most of us eat. It's easy to pile our plates high, go back for seconds, and eat until we feel completely stuffed. But when you eat until you're only 80% full, you're giving your body just what it needs without unnecessary strain. Digestion takes a lot of energy, and when we overeat, our bodies work overtime, leading to inflammation, weight gain, and sluggishness. But how do you actually practice this? The key is to eat mindfully. The Japanese take their time with meals. They don't rush through them while watching TV or scrolling through their phones. Instead, they focus on every bite, enjoying the flavors and textures. When you slow down and truly pay attention to your food, your body has time to send signals to your brain, letting you know when you're satisfied before you overeat. Another thing that helps? Using smaller plates. In many Western countries, dinner plates are large, and we tend to fill them up out of habit. In Japan, they use smaller dishes and serve food in multiple small portions, making meals feel more satisfying without actually eating too much. And it's not just how much they eat, it's also what they eat. The Japanese diet is full of fresh vegetables, whole grains, fish, and fermented foods like miso and natto, which help maintain gut health. They eat very little processed food or sugar, which helps prevent the spikes and crashes in energy that many people experience. Now, you might be thinking, I've been eating the way I do for years. How can I change now? But it's never too late. Even small adjustments, like eating a little slower, using a smaller plate, or adding more vegetables to your meals, can make a difference. The key is to be intentional. But diet and purpose are just part of the equation. Another major secret to Japanese longevity lies in how they move. Movement is a natural part of life in Japan, and it plays a huge role in their longevity. But here's the key difference. Most older Japanese people aren't spending hours in the gym lifting heavy weights or running marathons. Instead, they incorporate movement into their daily routines in a way that feels natural and sustainable. One of the best examples of this is their love for walking. If you visit Japan, you'll see people of all ages walking everywhere, whether it's a market, the train station, or just around their neighborhood. Many seniors in Japan walk several miles a day without even thinking of it as exercise. It's simply a way of life. And studies show that walking regularly keeps the heart strong, reduces the risk of dementia, and improves joint health. But it's not just walking. Many Japanese centenarians also practice gentle, low-impact exercises like Tai Chi, yoga, and radio taiso, a morning stretching routine broadcasted across Japan that people of all ages participate in. These types of movements keep the body flexible, improve balance, and prevent falls, which is one of the biggest risks for seniors. Now, you might be thinking, but I have joint pain. I can't walk as much as I used to. That's completely understandable. The good news is movement doesn't have to be strenuous to be effective. Even something as simple as stretching every morning, standing up and walking around every hour, or doing light exercises in a chair can make a big difference over time. The goal is to keep the body moving in a way that feels good. The Japanese also have a habit of sitting on the floor more often than sitting in chairs. This might not sound like much, but it actually strengthens the core, improves posture, and helps maintain flexibility. Now, if sitting on the floor is difficult, that's okay. You don't need to force it. But the lesson here is that small movements, even things like getting up and down regularly, help keep the body strong and capable. Another reason movement is so important, it keeps the mind sharp. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, reducing the risk of memory loss and cognitive decline. And speaking of the mind, this brings us to another key lesson from Japan, managing stress in a healthy way. In many Western cultures, stress is seen as an unavoidable part of life. But in Japan, particularly in places like Okinawa, people take a different approach. They prioritize peace of mind, relaxation, and strong social connections. One of their biggest secrets? Spending time in nature. The Japanese practice something called Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. This doesn't mean taking an actual bath. It means immersing yourself in nature, breathing deeply, and soaking in the sights and sounds of the natural world. Research shows that spending time outdoors lowers blood pressure, reduces stress hormones, and even boosts the immune system. And it's not just nature. They also value social connection. In places with high longevity, like Okinawa, older adults don't live in isolation. They are part of tight-knit communities, often meeting with friends, sharing meals, and supporting each other through life's ups and downs. Studies show that strong social bonds can add years to your life by reducing stress, lowering the risk of depression, and keeping the mind engaged. So, what does this mean for you? It means that staying active isn't just about exercise. It's about finding ways to move naturally, spending time with loved ones, and making time for the things that bring you joy. Because at the end of the day, a long life isn't just about adding years. It's about making those years meaningful. Another powerful secret to longevity in Japan is having a deep sense of purpose, something they call Ikigai. This word doesn't have a perfect translation in English, but it essentially means reason for being, the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning with excitement and motivation. For some, Ikigai is found in a hobby, painting, gardening, playing an instrument. For others, it's in their relationships, caring for grandchildren, mentoring younger people, or staying active in the community. Some find it in work, whether that means running a small business, volunteering, or simply having daily tasks that make them feel useful. In Okinawa, one of the places with the highest number of centenarians, older adults don't retire in the way we often think of in the West. Instead of seeing aging as a time to slow down and withdraw from life, they remain engaged in activities they enjoy. Many of them continue working in some capacity, whether that means tending to a vegetable garden, helping out in the community, or even running small businesses well into their 90s. This sense of purpose has an incredible effect on longevity. Studies show that people who have a clear reason to wake up every day tend to live longer, healthier lives. It reduces stress, keeps the brain active, and even strengthens the immune system. And here's the beautiful thing. You don't need to have a huge, world-changing mission to find Ikigai. It can be as simple as having something you look forward to each day, whether it's cooking a meal for your family, calling a friend, or learning something new. The key is to stay engaged with life in a way that brings you joy and fulfillment. Now, here's where everything comes together. The Japanese lifestyle isn't about one single habit. It's about how all these habits work together to create a balanced, meaningful life. They eat nourishing foods, but also enjoy what they eat. They stay active, but don't push their bodies to exhaustion. They stay connected with others while also making time for rest and self-reflection. And most importantly, they live with gratitude and joy. Many Japanese centenarians share something in common, a positive, optimistic mindset. They don't dwell on what they've lost with age. They focus on what they still have. They laugh often, embrace change, and find beauty in everyday life, whether it's a cup of tea in the morning or the sound of birds outside their window. And that's really the biggest takeaway from all of this. Longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about making those years rich, fulfilling, and joyful. It's about nourishing your body, moving in ways that feel good, staying engaged with the world, and cherishing the relationships that bring you happiness. So, as you go about your day, ask yourself, what small change can I make to live a little more like the Japanese centenarians? Maybe it's adding more vegetables to your meals, going for a short walk, reaching out to a friend, or simply taking a moment to appreciate the present. Whatever it is, know that these small changes add up over time. And remember, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, every step you take toward a healthier, more joyful life matters. Here's to embracing each day with purpose, gratitude, and a spirit of longevity. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments. What's one habit you'd like to start today? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips on living your best life at any age. See you in the next one. It looks like we've reached the natural conclusion of the script. You've covered the 5 key lessons for longevity inspired by the Japanese lifestyle: healthy eating, daily movement, strong social connections, a sense of purpose, Ikigai, and a positive mindset. The script ends with an engaging call to action, encouraging viewers to reflect on their own habits and participate in the discussion. If you like, I can refine any part, expand on specific details, or add another section. For example, a short bonus tip or a deeper dive into how Western lifestyles can incorporate these principles. Let me know how you'd like to proceed. Now, as we reflect on these lessons, it's important to remember that longevity isn't just about adding more years to your life. It's about adding more life to your years. The people of Japan, especially in places like Okinawa, don't just live long. They live well. They wake up with enthusiasm, stay engaged with their communities, and find joy in the little things. And the best part? These aren't habits exclusive to Japan. You can start applying them to your own life, no matter where you are. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of excitement, knowing that your day will be filled with meaningful activities, good food, and laughter with loved ones. Imagine moving with ease, feeling strong and capable well into your 80s and 90s. It's not a far-off dream. It's something you can cultivate with small, consistent changes. Maybe it's taking that extra walk after dinner, calling an old friend to reconnect, or trying a new vegetable you haven't had in years. Maybe it's shifting your mindset, choosing gratitude over stress, and embracing each day with curiosity. The Japanese centenarians don't stress about living longer. They focus on living better. And that, in itself, is a powerful secret to longevity. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these lessons resonates most with you? Do you already practice some of these habits in your daily life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more practical tips on living a long, healthy, and fulfilling life. Remember, it's never too late to make a positive change. Here's to a future filled with joy, purpose, and great health. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.